Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And for the September Creativity Without Borders, Kelly and I are using Have a Hoot because it's so stinking cute, isn't it? And all of the details will be in my blog post and Kelly's as well. But you will be getting the Trimming the Town Embellishments. You will be getting the Playful Pets Ribbon Combo Pack. You will be getting the Plaid Tidings DSP. You'll be getting a half pack of this. Like I said, all the details will be on my website, all of the pricing, everything that you get. So I chose to do a fun little Halloween themed card. And I know, if you're anything like me, you don't give Halloween cards. But every now and then you need something, right? So I thought for the blog hop, I would do a fun Halloween card. You don't need a whole lot of supplies to recreate this. You need a smoky slate top folding card base. So that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. You need the ornate frames because we're making a little tombstone here and it's just perfect. I'm using gray granite for the tombstone, not smoky slate. Just so that it stands out a little bit from the background, and then we're going to do a little bit of inking. You'll need some Whisper White cardstock, some basic black cardstock, the silhouette scenes. We need this wonderful die that does the tree, and then some adhesive sheet because no one wants to glue all those little pieces down. I know I don't. So I'm going to start by trimming this down so that it fits onto the basic black cardstock. And you can use scissors or you can use a trimmer. You can do whatever you'd like. And I am going to do this on the whole sheet because it never fails. You need black sticky cardstock all the time, right? So this is the leftover from my last piece. And the adorable little spider web die that's in here will be perfect for using up those little scraps. So here I have it in the black glimmer paper. It's so cute, but you definitely want to put the adhesive on the back. It's so cute. Okay, so on these sheets there are little hold tabs and it never fails. I always think that it's on the wrong side. Like I thought this was the throwaway piece. So now what we'll do, take that off and place it on down. Just give it a little bit of a burnish. And now we can die cut our tree. I like to run this back and forth a few times to get all of those little pieces out. So I will bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the Mickey, as I'm calling it, because the Minnie will be coming soon. So we'll have Mickey and Minnie, right? So I like to go back and forth a couple of times, like I said. And if you put it in on an angle, you are likely to get a better cut. At least that's how it was with the Big Shot. To be honest, I haven't given it a try this way. So the one thing I forgot to mention that comes in your kit is one of the rectangular tins as well. And Kelly and I have each done a design featuring that tin. So you can decide which one you'd like to make, or you can add on more of the tins and make them both and then some. So I'm going to find the paper that I used. It's one of a couple of favorites that I have. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then we can just trim off the little bit of excess. Open up your card. And you could use your paper trimmer if you prefer. There we go. So this really does come together quite quickly, especially because we're using that adhesive sheet. We don't have to sit there and add glue to everything. So now we can take our stamp set and some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I am going to have a Hoot on Halloween. You could certainly write a name on this tombstone if you didn't want to put this on here. And while we have that piece, while we have the ink out, we're also going to stamp our owl and spider. Just need a scrap of Whisper White for that. The piece that I have out is for my insert. So I'm just going to trim this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And with my little baby trimmer, I always just eyeball the bottom because as you can see, it only goes up to 4 1/4. So that looks pretty good. We'll put that on the inside just so I don't forget. And then we're going to stamp our little owl and our spider. So we just need a little scrap of Whisper White for that. You could use this whole part, but I didn't see how it would have fit in the tree. And to be honest, I hadn't used these die cuts yet because I wasn't sure how the spider was going to look when it was die cut. And this is some very basic coloring. So even if you don't like to color, everyone can do this. It's very simple. Okay, we'll keep that out because there's a sentiment on the inside as well. I'm going to grab this die because this is the one that has the spider. And then with my basic gray, I'm going to take a sponge dauber and just ink up my tombstone. Take basic gray. And just ink it up. I've got light and dark smoky slate, light basic black, light and dark so saffron, and my pumpkin pie Stampin' Write marker. So with the light basic black, all that I'm going to color is that spider. That's it. For the owl, I'm going to use the smoky slate combo, and I'm just going to go around the outside and anywhere I think there might be some shadows. You can just straight color this. You don't have to blend it. I know not everyone loves coloring. So now we can take our light smoky slate and just fill in the rest. If your Stampin' Write markers are squeaking, it means that you are pressing too hard. All you should hear is the ink kind of, well, maybe not the ink, but the brush tip hitting your paper. You shouldn't hear squeaking. That is too much pressure. So now I'm just going to go in a couple of little places with some more of the light smoky slate just to add that little bit of depth without going overboard. So for his eyes, I'm going to go around his little pupil with the dark So Saffron and then fill the rest with the light. And that is a very small area. You don't have to use light and dark. I just found the light was too light. So now his little claws and beak. And now we are ready to die cut. But I don't like that white rim around my die cutting, especially when it's not going on a white background. So I'm going to just put this on my basic black here, and I'm going to fill in that white space. Nothing fancy, just covering up the white. And you can do this in any color. I mean, obviously in this case, we want to use gray so that it blends in, but my point is that you can do this with any die cut to kind of match your background or tone down that white. We're ready for the last couple steps. So we can glue this guy on. And for the owl and the spider, I am going to use black Stampin' Dimensionals. I know that we can't see them, but it seems very fitting to be using it on this. And that one's just a little big, but it's black. It's not going to stand out. So take that off. And if you do have that little bit sticking out, you can either trim it off or just push it down. So we're going to have the spider coming down. I mean, he could be going back up, but the owl looks pretty scared. So my guess is that he's coming down. So this little guy is just sitting on this tombstone here, panicked that the spider is coming down. Now, we can't have the spider just sitting there doing nothing, so I took my fine journaling pen and I just free-handed a little web. So draw it onto your background. It doesn't stand out very much because it's more on the black this time, but be sure to add it on to your die cut. And that is all for the front. So I'm going to use Stampin' Seal to adhere this piece. So if you missed it, this piece is 4 by 3/4 of an inch. I just missed that little side. And then I'm going to stamp Boo in here. So my memento is right here. You can have it on an angle, you can have it going straight. I think it kind of looks more fun when it's on an angle. So we can adhere this. Whoa, whoa. Stuff is very sticky, which means you have one shot to get it down properly. So you could call that quits, or you could bring in the Playful Pets trim. I have some here. I'm just going to cut a length of this that will be long enough to go around. You can tie it first just to make sure that you're not doing extra if you'd like. And I would recommend just grabbing a scrap of paper. You could use this as is, but I am going to color mine with my light smoky slate marker. And let's see if we can get both sides done at the same time. So just take it along. And you don't have to be perfect with this. In fact, it could look cute if there's still a little bit of white, but I would recommend turning it over and doing both sides. Depends how much coverage you want. think this marker's running out on me. So now we're just going to take this, and if you want to make sure that there's no extra ink, you can rub this in a piece of paper, just fold it over and rub any excess ink off. I don't have a whole lot of ink left in that marker, so I'm not all that concerned. And then just trim that down, and voila. Make sure it's on the front portion of the card because you want to be able to see it. Don't tie it too tight because it will cut into your card base. And then just give it a little bit of a fold. And there we go. Two cute little owls. Two cute little owls, two cute little spiders. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that you will purchase this month's kit class. If you have any questions, you can email me at stampedaf@gmail.com. The link to register will be below. And we will see you soon, my crafty friends. Bye.